your self-worth is never going to come from the way you look. And if your self-worth comes from that, you're never going to be happy. So you have to work on other things in your life for sure. Action.
And action. All right. How did we script it? What do we want to do?
We didn't script it, Sid.
I know, you're right. That's because we're candid. I'm Sid, by the way.
And I'm Soph.
And we don't ever say that. And I want you to know who we are. Because if you're new here, we are glad that you're here and we're happy to have you.
Yeah.
And it's a Monday.
Listening. Oh, gosh. Don't do that again.
I know. Back again.
Yeah, we did change our recording day, though. This feels a little different. And I kind of like it, though. I feel like we get a good start to the week. Wait, is today? Oh, it's not Monday.
My God.
You guys, we both just thought it was Monday for a good 10 seconds. What day is it? It's Wednesday.
I've definitely thought it was Monday for the majority of the day. Curious.
Wait, this is good. We only have 2 more days.
Yeah, 2 more days.
Well, actually, sometimes 3, but we're good. We're rolling. We're halfway through the week. You guys are probably listening on a Thursday, maybe. So we're going to finish this week out strong. You can do it. Tell yourself right now, if you're speaking to yourself, whatever you're saying to yourself, you're saying, I'm capable, I'm strong, and I'm excited to grow.
Yes, honey.
Okay.
Slay. Go slay the day, honey.
Slay the day.
Also, my classes, I don't know what it was about today when I taught.
What do you mean classes?
My lifetime fitness classes. Oh my God, we dropped fitness and I'm a part of the branding team. I should probably not say Lifetime Fitness. I should probably say the brand name Lifetime. Anywho, the classes were freaking fun because I made a new playlist. And God dang, when you make a new playlist and you get up there and you're just like working the crowd and you're coaching well and you're on and you didn't even have a coffee and you feel it. Oh,
isn't it feel good?
Dang, I felt good.
It's also funny because sometimes when I coach with songs that I think other people would like, I end up not having as much fun. But if I coach with songs that I fucking love, I was literally twerking on top of benches today. Like, it was so fun. I had a great time today as well.
I started with a feel good song and I was like, you guys remember this guy? And they're all looking at me like, what? And I go, B.O.B. All right. I forgot about B.O.B. But then I remembered this song right here and it made me feel some sort of way. Okay.
Can you sing it? Because I don't know what song that is.
Tell me how you feel. What's your fantasy? Oh, singing on the streets down in Mexico. You can put your feet up.
Okay.
Anything you want, just take it slow.
I know that song, and that is a feel-good song. And the fact that I knew what song you were singing, that means you were. That's a pretty big deal.
I'm a bad singer, you guys. Bad. Like, I have nodes in my vocal cords, so my voice is a little deeper. I have to actively try. Sometimes I'll be in a meeting and I'll be talking, and I'll start to like get like this and kind of, and then I'll be like, anyway. Moving on, I'll try to like bring it because I'm like, ew. People listening are probably like, oh, she has her camera off. Who the hell is that man?
You're just trying to, match the energy in the room with all those other Lifetime men.
Oh yeah,
because guess what? Women are just as fucking powerful, and they can talk low as they want.
You can talk low.
I panicked.
All right, get your low voice out and get in that meeting and rock.
But speaking of that, it is Women's Empowerment Month, Women History Month, March, right?
Or March in the entirety of March.
Cute.
And I don't know, just take a second and like appreciate being a woman. And it comes with a lot of shit.
It does. And tell the women in your life that you're proud of them too.
And you're thankful for them because we got to be like each other's cheerleaders. And I think that's like the year of 2023 is we got to cheer each other on more.
Yes.
Like instead of being so competitive and like just pushing each other down and judging people off the bat, like let's cheer each other on.
Instead of being the girl at the bar where you look someone up and down, you're the girl at the bar in the bathroom saying, bitch, you're fucking hot.
Yeah.
That's the type of
energy. And then you want to pee with me? You know what I mean? When you invite a random in the stall, all of a sudden now you're peeing with a random. You're like, why are we doing this? The next morning, you're like, you see text, we actually should hang out. Like, no, literally, we should actually go get coffee. And you're like, oh God, what did I do that for?
Don't underestimate those female friendships though. Seriously, the ones you meet sometimes late night, they're your vibe. You never know.
Also, those are the friends that are always the most impactful in my life. Like always like saying like, I'm proud of you for this, or like checking in on how Jordan and I are.
The ones you meet in the bathroom?
No, just women. No, just women. I was like, just women.
I'm like, tell me more.
Not the women at the Loop. I love you guys, but nope, that's not you. I hate to say it. Most of you aren't texting me.
Throwback to the Loop bar. I haven't been there in a minute.
Hot minute. I havenn't gone like out in a hot minute.
Last time I was at the Loop, I thought I was lesbian, and me and this girl we were dancing.
You were like,
we were grinding, and now I have a boyfriend. And I never
actually thought about that the other day. Is that weird?
I never got to experiment that.
I know. Don't you ever wonder, you're like, God, what if?
Maybe one day I'll bring in a third. Who knows? I'll have to chat with Pat about that one.
I'm not doing that one. I can't do that.
I don't think I'm not. Honestly, I'm like have not enough time to have sex right now anyway. So
I would be like, did you just look at her? Yeah. He's like, we talked about that. We brought it. And I'm like, did you just look at her like that?
You opened the door for her?
I'm like,
you let her into our home? He's like, babe, we talked about this for 2 years. We talked about this
for a long time. Yeah, no, I have to be real bored to do that, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Sorry.
But y'all, the reason why we're talking about this whole kind of women intro is, yes, Women Empowerment Month, Women History Month, March, but we're going to kind of talk about the pressures behind being a woman. And because that comes with so much. And I think if you are a man listening, this podcast is also for you, because I think you can learn a lot from this. And we love to hear your perspective too. Like if you want to write in and you're like, hey, I actually disagreed with this, do it. We get a lot of those. Okay. And we're not afraid to see those messages. No chance that maybe we won't reply. I don't know.
We don't know.
Like definitely shoot us your ideas, and we love to have male perspective. So if you are a male and you want to hop on or say something, let us know. We'll share it next episode too.
Yeah, we're very open to it. So go ahead and do your thing, boo boo.
Do your thing. But first,
straight candid moments with Sid and Soph.
Oh
shit, sorry.
So.
Do you have one?
Oh my God.
Did you just blank?
You're going to have to go first. I literally prepped for everything. And then I was like, I don't think I have one. Maybe I wrote one down.
I don't think it's big this week. I was in Arizona for Jordan's birthday. And honestly, didn't have anything drama. Didn't really embarrass myself, which was pretty surprising.
Damn it.
I did toot it a little loud at the airport and Jordan caught me. But then I was like, whatever. That's not that big a deal, honestly. Because at this point, it is what it is. The trip as a whole was just like so good. I think my only hashtag straight candid moment would just be that like we actually got to connect again. And that's so important after being gone for so long and running back and forth. And we actually got to like sit down, and I think we pass the idea of like putting your phones away and having a sit down dinner, and really how important that is in a relationship.
It is.
Because it really impacted us. Like we sat down and we just kind of laughed with each other, and like it felt really flirty, and I almost got like a little tickle, like nervous. Ooh. Like a cute nervous, not like a bad,
not like a vagina tickle.
No,
like a heart, like a heart tickle.
Because he was just he looked so handsome, and it was his birthday, and we were talking to the waiter way too much. Like we do the TMI thing where we just tell them too much. Like we're like, it's Jordan's birthday.
You're like the couple where the waiter's like, oh my God, can we just move on? But they're like, they're gonna give me a good tip. They're like, fuck.
And he's like, oh yeah, how old are you? And he's like, Jordan's like, guess, how old do you think I am? It was just so intense. But at the same time, it made me look at him and be like, wow, we are similar in so many ways. Like sometimes I want to punch you. Yeah. I really do. And I would never get physical, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, sometimes we have moments like this where I'm like, damn, we are similar.
It's so important to sit down like that, because Pat and I get in the habit and the cycle of like, we literally just hang at home a lot. Like if you guys know us, we're homebodies. We literally chill. We hardly go out to dinner. One, because Pat was a bodybuilder, so we literally had such a strict diet plan and all that. So we hardly go out to eat. And I'm not even kidding you. Last time we went out to eat, and I like had a little drink. Yeah. And I thought I knew everything about him. And then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, wow, we need to actually like force ourselves. Even if we're just going to get coffee, I need to go do this more with you. Like
go sit down.
Because you do learn more stuff when you're literally with no phone and you're forced to come up with something to talk about. And then like, who knows what's going to come up. But thanks for sharing that. I had to share that too. Because I was like, it is so important. And I'm glad you had fun.
Good.
Are you excited to be done traveling soon?
This
bitch
soon.
every podcast. So I just got back from
and I literally leave for Austin, Texas tomorrow. So I go there for the weekend.
I saw your text about, you're like, I'll be in the airport. God. I'm like,
you're like, what do you mean?
What do you mean you're at the fucking airport again?
It's for it's our girlfriend's like annual trip, and we try to do it annually. It never happens annually. This is like, I think it's been like 3 years since we all got together like that. But I'm really excited because I've never been to Austin and gone out or done anything there like that.
Oh my God.
I have family there, but I don't know.
I am obsessed with, or maybe they're not in Austin. Maybe they are. I'm obsessed with these two fitness girls, Sam and Taylor.
Yeah. Wait, did you know that
they live there?
They want to come on the pod and do a flip flop. Yeah. They do want to flip flop.
Chatty chat.
We could do it just like a girls chat.
But I think they literally go out in Austin. So if you see them, say hi and take a picture for me.
I'm going to say hi to them. Also, I just have to admit that although the trip was literally perfect, I would give it a 99.9 because, and let me just explain this because it's funny. I was a little hangry. I had a hard day at work, And everyone was so excited to play pickleball. And I said, I'm really hungry though. And they were like, well, you can grab a snack. And I'm like, no, like I need really hungry. And they're like, well, no, we're going to eat after. And I just kind of was like, okay, fine. So we went and played pickleball and I got so hungry that I actually ended up crying for a second. I don't know what happened, but I was so sick of people correcting my form in pickle. And I'm like, you guys. And I like lost another game. And I was just like, I walked over to the side and I'm like, people don't get it. Like, I'm really hungry and I had a hard day and I don't know. I cried. No one saw me. Only my friend Eva saw me, but I was so embarrassed. And then I stopped crying and I was like, oh my God, that was such a childish thing to do. Like, how dumb. Like, but I get hungry.
Like a little baby.
I'm hungry.
Needs mama's milk.
I'm like, please. I'm like, please someone feed me. Then we eat after. And then it's funny because all of a sudden I eat my little rice bowl. And then I'm just like, so you guys want to watch a movie? Like all of a sudden so happy.
They're like,
regardless.
They're like, bitch, you were just rude. No.
Trip was a 10 out of 10. Yeah. And I saw my family and I got to go to a Thai food place and what a win. Okay.
I love
Story Candid moments for you.
Okay. Do you want me to start with, a funny one or one that literally is very scary and upsetting?
Do funny because then we can go into that one.
So we were at Jerdy. Y'all know Jerdy. If you listened back from episode 1, he was our producer for a bit. And we literally love that man. So we miss him. I think he's going to come in and like sit with Taylor for a few episodes too because we love him. But
we love Jerdy.
Anyways, he had a little housewarming party. And we were playing this game, which you guys literally need to order right now because it's the best game I've ever played in my life.
Don't tell me Suck and Blow.
No. But, well, yeah, this is part of the story. So it's this game called, fuck me. I was like, order it. And now I'm like, I don't remember what it is. It's like first player versus last player. So you pick a card and it says first player who blah, 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 hands out a drink. Or last player to touch something circle takes a drink.
Wait, fun.
Last player who... takes off a shoe. Last one to drink. Like it's very active. It's almost like the Love Island games where they play against the Casa Amor team. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so fun. But there was one card that said, this was after we played King's Cup where you pick an ace and it was the suck and blow, right? Okay. Where you put the card, you suck and you bring it to the next person in a circle. And Pat, my boyfriend, and Jordy, our old producer, ended up kissing because the card dropped and they like low-key loved it, right?
Of course they did.
Of course they did. And so this card, we're playing the new game and I pull the card and it says, first players to kiss on the lips, hand out a drink. And obviously, me and Pat are the only couple there. So I'm like, oh, we're going to fucking win. I turn to my left to kiss Pat.
Oh,
as I'm turning to my left to kiss my boyfriend, Pat is turning towards Jerdy. And Jerdy and my boyfriend literally kiss on the lips.
Are you kidding me?
And literally, I literally got dodged. Like he ducked and kissed. And he was
Dirty.
like, oh. And Pat goes, the funny thing is I literally didn't even think about kissing.
Oh my God.
So him and Jordy, and they're like, oh, and everyone was like laughing so hard. I'm like, are you?
These boys, I can't.
I don't know what, I think other people have to relate to this, but guys are just, so, I can't even explain it. They're almost.
It depends though, because I haven't met anybody like Pat and Jordy.
Every guy at the gym that like me and Pat hang out with is just like my boyfriend.
Seriously.
Like they literally are like, hey, we're dating. Like, oh, you touched my dick. Huh, loved it. Like it is this bromance going on.
Weird. I feel like it's either bromance like that, but I think Jordy is a different, like he's on another level sometimes. I'm like, what?
Well,
and then there's the other guys where they're like,
apparently.
no, I would never touch him.
Well, it's funny because the guys that are mostly like that are the ones that are actually probably secretly curious about maybe, a different type of sex.
True.
So just saying, I do think Jordy and Pat are very confident in their sexuality, but whatever, moving on. So that was the funny one. I was like, that's funny as hell.
What's scary? I'm scared.
It actually is
Now
fucking scary.
I'm scared.
I can't believe I forgot. So I was going to call you right after it happened. I called my mom. I called literally like Taylor. Me and Pat had just left Jordy's new place, which was in Northeast.
No, stop. Oh God.
It's 10 p.m., still somewhat early in the night. And me and Pat are driving home and there's this car that's in the middle of the road and literally does like, it's sideways. Like it was backing up and gonna re-go down the street. And so the car is literally in the middle of the road, dangerous, blocking oncoming traffic.
Oh God.
And so Pat obviously honks his horn like nicely. And he almost didn't honk, but I was like, honk a little, like we were going to run into them. So they needed to speed up or do something. So Pat honks and the car, starts going beside us. So now we're lane by lane.
Wait, but how are they beside you? Because they're driving in the middle, or they're driving illegally?
Can you explain it better? So like, here's the car, we're coming this way, and then they go like this, and then they start going this way with us.
Oh, so they just come, basically they were perpendicular and then they turned parallel. So now you're parallel. Okay.
So now I'm parallel to the car.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, this guy in a black hood with a black neck warmer, his eyes are just showing.
Oh no.
This isn't that he's the passenger. Pat's in the driver's seat. The passenger leans out of his car, all black, both arms.
No, stop.
Points a fucking gun at me and Pat in the car. And I literally said, I ducked down. My heart was beating. We missed our turn. Pat veered off the road. We literally had a gun aimed at us. And they didn't shoot. It was probably just to scare us. But and it was literally, it was in Northeast right by my house.
No, it was not.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't sleep. Like, I didn't fall asleep for like 4 hours because I couldn't stop like shaking.
I don't even know what to say.
I know. Pat was like, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God. Like, it was. And I didn't think it really affected me that much the next day, but I went to Pat's family for dinner and his mom texted me the next day and she was like, hey, you didn't seem like yourself last night. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I literally was like unwell for like a good
you got
24 hours.
Because that makes you think my life is flashing before my eyes right now.
I literally ducked down in my seat.
Oh my God.
It was so scary.
That's horrifying. I'm so sorry that happened.
I know. We should honestly, I was like, we could spend literally so long on this topic, but like it's over. I was literally so thankful and honestly just, you never know. So
it's scary that you can't even like honk your horn, which is the use of what a horn is for
now,
without
and it was
even
dangerous.
being afraid for your life or let alone anything.
I'm going to say this now. Those are the type of people that should not have a gun.
Well, that's the whole problem of it.
Yeah.
It's not the right people having them. Yeah, it's a whole nother thing. I know. Oh
Anyways,
my God. I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, sorry to like drop that bomb.
No.
But like, y'all, that shit's scary.
Well, geez, holy shit,
I know.
dude. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's not the first time that I've known somebody or seen that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know people that have gotten mugged recently, like really bad, like bad things.
Do you remember when we had Rakea on?
Yes.
So she was just chilling in Uptown and
downtown.
Mm-hmm. And someone did a drive-by and just shot, and she is paralyzed now. She was on episode 44. I thought it was one of our like most intense, serious episodes, but she was funny. She was great. We love Rakea. We're still in contact with her in the DMs. And so if you want to listen to kind of more of this type of story, definitely go listen to episode 44 because she's amazing and we're so proud of her. But
she's so amazing. And she talks about like how her life changed and what actually is different. And like how do you change your life habits from being on feet to being in a wheelchair. So it's really impactful and really interesting.
And we asked all the questions we know you're wondering. So.
Yes, we did.
Cool.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. My God.
You're welcome.
Holy crap.
All right. But today we're moving on to our topic.
Ladies
and
gents. Cause this is useful for you too. Yeah. We're talking about the societal pressures, man. Like there's a lot.
Right away. What do you think about when you hear that?
I think of how you look. I think of boobs and lips and face and like butt.
Let's talk about that. Like beauty, body. Yeah, absolutely.
I think of those are the things that come to my mind right away. And like they pop in right away. And I think, oh my God, like I don't have big boobs. I don't have the biggest butt. I don't look like the people on Instagram. And I hate that. And I know everyone's like, stop comparing yourself. And I try not to. Okay. But the fact of the matter is how do you not when it's everywhere? Even the people that I'm like, oh, I love this person's content. I'd love to use it as inspo are the people that look like that. And you're like, I don't look like that. So why would I even try?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you think of? Is that what you think of first?
I do. And like, just going off of what you said is the people that we end up, seeing their content and whatnot. It's like, why don't we find someone who also makes good content that is a little bit more maybe natural, achievable? Like, why are we always following the like, why is it that all these models are the ones with the good content? Like, that's not always the case. Like maybe search, we got to find the people that actually don't make us feel that way because it's like unattainable perfection on Instagram. It is impossible.
Sometimes it doesn't feel good to look at them.
Yeah.
Like literally it doesn't feel good to follow them and to look at their content because on one end I'm sitting here and I'm like happy for them. They've got great content. They work really hard about it. They look amazing. And the other hand, I'm like, I will never be that. That's just a fact. I'm never going to look like that person because I'm not them. And I feel bad about that, even though I don't want to. And I know that my unique look is everything. Yes. But I'm not going to look like that ever. Never. It's not going to be attainable for me because that's somebody else.
Yeah.
So that's a tough battle that we have to play with, you know?
And it's not even like, yes, obviously you're like, okay, we knew we were going to talk about Instagram and social media, but it's not even just that. It's almost like you hear the stuff when you're growing up, your friends, your family. I think a lot of it has to do with even like your guy friends. Like think about in college, the way your guy friends talked about girls, like, oh, she had a fat ass, or oh shit. It's like just the way people are speaking around you even. It's like, oh shit, well, I don't have that. Like, should I have that?
In high school, there was a list that ranked girls from hotness, like top 10 hottest girls in school. I remember there also was like a top 10 butts in school. And then I remember in college, my guy friends, or actually I should just say like acquaintances, were having a conversation about if they liked people's body or face better. Which one was more important?
Oh, the butterface.
I was like, that's actually a conversation that you have, like that you care either about their body more than their face.
What about
or who they are?
What about their personality?
And I'm like,
man?
also like, I just, it's confusing because face recognition. Okay. Bring it back to that technical term. We look like our face. That is who we are. That's your like partially your identity. Yeah. Your body is too, but like your face, you can change it some, you can't change it that much. Yeah. Right. And that you choose somebody's body over that. I don't know. That was just like, what?
In my high school, there was Butterface. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, like butter, like the dairy, but also like butt her face. Like she's cute, but her face. Isn't that?
Oh, wow. I've never heard that like that. That's so mean.
But so I read something, a little stat about this, and I thought it was really interesting. So on average, adult women spend around 55 minutes working on their appearance, and they apply at least, wait for this. And then I started counting my own. I'm like, so we can go through this. Okay. On average, adult women spend 55 minutes working on their appearance, and they apply at least 16 skincare and cosmetic products every single day. That amounts to roughly 2 entire weeks and $3,000 spent every year. Over a lifetime, that's around $200,000, $300,000 just for face products.
It's horrifying. And it's true. And honestly, it's probably more expensive than that, and probably more products.
2 entire weeks of your life
just spent putting on product.
Or is that of your life? I mean, yeah. I mean, no, it'd be more than that.
It'd be longer than that. Yeah. If you're spending 55 hours. Yeah, it's way longer than that.
55 minutes.
55 minutes. Well, 55 hours. I'm not doing that every week.
Sid spends 55 hours a day.
Very intense with my look. Like literally, I mean, if you just think about, and this is what's hard for me is like, I'm supposed to know all these things. I'm supposed to know what makeup to put on. And I'm supposed to know how to contour. And I'm supposed to know how to make eyeshadow.
Everyone else does it. I got to stay up with that shit.
Just learned how to make a line with eyeshadow and make it look like eyeliner. Didn't know that one either. Like I know how to curl my hair. I should do a big brush, a round brush. And it's like, and then you go to you know what I have to say? Try to go to Sephora as a man. And I want you to pick out what you think you should do for your face.
I just thought of a really good idea.
That's actually a really good idea.
No.
For the boys.
We should have the boys come in here and they should do our makeup. And
we can do a podcast.
And we can either podcast it or we could just YouTube it. That'd be so funny.
Wait, that's a great idea.
Oh my God, we should so do that.
But it's like, even then I'm like, okay, here's the thing that I get confused about is like, everybody says, use, moisturizer and use all these things. Okay, got it. So I'm going to use all these things. But then there's new products that come out and you're like, oh, wait. Is that the same one? It's more expensive. It must mean that's way better. And then you're obsessed with these things. And honestly, the problem that I have with this is I'm obsessed with learning about this shit. And then I don't learn about other things. Like, I don't know, maybe reading a book that's on the bedside table and it's been there for 2 years.
We're caring so much about and this also goes with fashion. Like exactly what you're saying. It goes in, it goes out, fashion and beauty. It's like, we can't keep up. And to be honest, I feel like it's kind of killing us. One, like think of eating disorders. Think of of BBLs. That's like a deathly surgery. So not only are we putting skincare on, spending all this money, think about all the cosmetic procedures people are getting done. So what do we do? We're just like venting now. We're venting with you guys because we also are fucking confused and we're fucking frustrated being a woman. It's hard.
I just want to like say this thought because it goes with like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it's like, okay, just age naturally and be happy with the skin that you have and the person you have because you're so lucky. You are. We all are, right? But then if the women around me are aging slower, and I look like the old fart.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like the old fart. I don't. Like, that's just facts. And I don't care if anyone says, well, you're doing it to please the man. It's like, no, honey, I'm doing it because I don't want to look old, like an old fart, because we're not allowing that to be the beauty standard.
That's what I think is the biggest misconception is guys think we're doing this for them, but
No.
I think we're doing it for other girls, other females, like literally though. So like you said, yes, I think it does come down to like, you would have to be so confident within, it's going to sound so cheesy, but to let yourself know, like, I'm aging faster than my friends and I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Because you're literally so confident. Like, and sometimes, I don't know, maybe that's going to portray more beauty anyways. Like, I don't even know how to say it without sounding so fucking cheesy.
No,
but
it's true. And I think the hard part is we're a part of it. And like, as much as we want to say like men are doing this, you know, all the things is like, I've heard people say like, oh, she would look so much better if she just dyed her hair, or like she would look so much better if she just fixed up her eyebrows a little bit. It's like we're holding everybody to it.
If she lost some weight.
Yeah. So what do we do? And then I want to talk about just cosmetics in general.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah. Why don't you start?
Well, so I'm continuing on this topic because I was trying to like research both sides of this, thinking like some people are saying, okay, is this standard of beauty? Is this all motivated by sexism in attempt to stall women progress in obtaining equality? And I was like, fuck,
whoa,
mic drop. But then
I never added those all together and divided by 2 in the square root.
I know. And then on the contrary though, are we putting this pressure on ourselves? So like, I don't know. Would a guy actually expect you to look like that? And my thought is, you know what? If a guy expects you and holds you like up to that standard, they're probably a trash human that you don't want to be with anyways.
Well, absolutely. It's
yeah. So like if you're with the right person and the right guy or the right partner, like, do you really think they're going to compare about cellulite or, you know, the way you do your eyebrows? Like, absolutely not.
The fact of the matter is they love you for who you are, regardless, no matter what.
Weed them out.
Weed them out. Weed out the nasty ones. Because even thinking about exes that I've been with or been around, they would like be attached to me and like dating me, but then they would be eyeballing all these other people and the side pieces and the Instagram people and the like, they're out. Like if I'm not enough, then you're not enough for me. Actually, I get to pick first because you're not enough for me. And why do we forget that we're not looking at them being like, you're crusty ass too.
Yeah.
Sorry,
why
are.
do guys get away with all this, you know?
I'm like, you're crusty. I'm not going to date
you.
You're
crusty.
Like,
I'm trying not to get too much into like the marginalization and like the sexism and like gender gaps, but like, I mean, from a female's perspective, sometimes that is how we feel. Like, and that's just the truth of the matter, you know?
I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's like a man problem. Just it's all of society enforcing this. Yeah. And I want to just read this because it put it into perspective for me of all the different transitions over the years. Okay.
Love it.
So took a step back and looked at history, what they defined it as beautiful over like a bunch of years. Okay. So in the 20s, the trend was shorter hair. And everyone started to lean into that. 30s was a time when many individuals strived to have an hourglass shape, right? So like tight, you know, that's when the tightness started and that kind of continued. 30s? That was the 30s.
When was Marilyn Monroe? Do we know?
She would have been, she would have been later. Okay. Like 50s. Like,
that was a little hourglass vibe.
She kept the hourglass vibe for sure. And then the 80s was like big hair. You had to have that for beauty. 90s was pale skin, skinny figures, like terribly skinny. You know, you had to have like tanning beds and low-rise jeans and all these things, right? And then,
those were the days.
I know, right? It's like, holy crap. Then you get into the 2000s and they had to like have a flat-toned stomach, low-rise jeans, bronze glow the entire time, thousands of dollars in hair extensions. And now we're getting into like the 2000s, like lip fillers, cosmetic surgeries, and it's just escalating and escalating. But the thing that
we're going to look like aliens in 100 years.
Here's what always wows me. And I had a conversation with a few guys and I won't name who they are, but I was like, they were like, well, beauty standards say that we all kind of agree on what is deemed or considered beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, I'm like, who decided that? Well, society, or like everybody kind of did collectively. And I said, well, no, actually, because it hasn't been decided forever. Because way back in the day,
it's changed.
The bigger you were, the richer you were, which means the sexier you were. That's what it was. Like, I'm way pretty back
sure
when.
Some cultures are still like that.
Yes.
Like if you're a little more obese, or you know, you literally are like, oh, they have money, they have riches, they can buy food
because they're eating a lot and they're feeding their family a lot, and that was sexy and that was appealing and stuff like that. So it's just so frustrating to me when people don't see that it's not just that simple. And I studied digital media it was my minor in college for 4 years or whatever. And we basically, long story short, and I won't go into too detail because it's just too much. Society was actually the people on TV and deciding magazines and different things like that, what was sexy, right? So like they got to choose, they chose. Yeah. And then they showed the world what that was because they thought that would sell. That's how the standards started to be built, because whatever those men, because it was men who owned those companies, chose as beautiful, they put that on the screen, and that is what society deemed, oh, I have to be that in order to be a big deal. Yeah. That's how it went. That's media in a nutshell.
I was going to say, it's so funny. It started with media and it's still in media, just a different version.
Well, and wow. The crazy thing is that's how norms started, like when they used to show black people as always a sidekick character or the maid or anything like that. Yes, in that time period that might have been more prevalent, but it made it even more worse. I shouldn't say more worse, that's bad, that's two negatives, whatever, but worse because it put it on the screen and made it like, oh, that must be how it is everywhere. That's what everyone started believing. It's just so crazy.
It is insane. I even like think about this in the workplace too. So like,
oh my God, yeah.
How we hop on. I almost like right when I walked into Sid's, I'm like, oh, I'm greasy. Like my hair is slicked back. Like, sorry. Like I'm apologizing for my greasy hair. I hop on a Zoom. I'm apologizing for the way I don't have makeup on. I walk into a room. I apologize to my class that I smell because I just worked out. I'm fucking apologizing for my looks. And we have to stop doing that, because like, just show up as you are. Like, and I have one more little quote. Beauty and body is just going to be a big part of this.
It is a big part of it.
It is a big part because it's how we feel, right? Last quote, and then we can kind of keep moving. But, this is from I think it was called Virago. She says, all the emphasis on beauty creates a double-blind situation or double-blind situation. This is in the workplace, by the way. If we ignore beauty norms, we might be penalized for it at work or in our personal lives. If we don't, we might reap certain rewards, such as attracting mates with greater resources or creating a better impression in the workplace. But by doing so, we're also reinforcing the idea that how women present themselves is an important component of how worthy we are of anyone's time, admiration, or attention. So it's like, you literally can't win.
You can't win. You can't go either way. And I don't know that we'll win this argument, but it's just such an interesting thing to talk about, because I think we all think about it daily. We see it daily. We experience it daily. And the one that I just experienced that just drove me bananas, because it's like, God, are we ever going to have it be just right and everybody's on the same page? No. Botox, because, and I want to bring this up because cosmetics, because everyone's like, oh, all you got to do is throw Botox in your face and like you won't age, use it subtly, but whatever. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, don't be fake, right? Don't be fake. It's bad to be fake. You can't be fake, right?
Yeah. What do you want?
Then I asked some men and they were like, I can't tell when a woman is fake or not. I can't tell when she has her nose done or her boobs done or her butt done or this, that, or the other thing, or they have a filter on their face unless it's like really overly edited. And it's like, why did that piss me off? I'm like, what do you mean you can't tell? You mean you can't tell that I'm a real human being sitting in front of you?
You can't tell
that one's an edited one?
I'm like, you can't tell that these little
titties. You can't tell that these are real?
That these little titties are real, boys? Let me show you.
You can probably tell about that one. But it's like, why did that bug me? And then I got mad at myself. I'm like, I don't need to be getting irritated about these things. Well, that's not my thing to fix or own, right?
And that's the thing, is like, we have to step back and like realize your self-worth is never going to come from the way you look. And if your self-worth comes from that, like, you're never going to be happy. So you have to work on other things in your life for sure. And just along these lines, before we go into another topic, I'm thinking about like always having to show up as females. Well, obviously we're female, but always having to show up like a bundle of like positivity.
I have something about that.
And I'm not always like that, but like, if I am having an off day or if I'm rude, I'm automatically a bitch. Like, I just heard a story from a little bird. Someone met me, I think like at a bar. It was a dude. Okay. And apparently word got back to me that he said I was a bitch. Okay. So, and I knew who it was. So I'm thinking back to this situation and I'm like, let me remember this conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, he was being a dick. Like, he thought he was cool. He was kind of being rude to me. I'm like, actually, I just wasn't showing up as a woman to be like, how can I make you feel comfortable? Or how can I flirt back with you? Instead, I gave him what he was giving. I probably blew him off and I probably walked away. Like, yeah, I was probably like, nice to see you. Like, I didn't give him the attention that he wanted. Yep. And that made him mad. And I'm like, if that's what calling me a bitch these days, call me a fucking bitch.
I cannot stand that situation. And I've been in it 100 times, I feel like. And I actually also have been called a bitch for not giving somebody the time of day.
Yep.
And it's like, you
do that all the time.
I don't owe you anything.
No.
How many times have you blown somebody off or like, you know what I mean? Like ignored somebody behind you at the bar trying to get a drink. Like, I'm sorry, are you a bitch? Like you're being a bitch.
Yeah.
So stop calling me one. And sometimes when I go to the bar, I'm not social. I don't really want to be there. I don't really like rail drinks. I don't really like random people in my bubble and sweaty armpits and people hugging me that I don't know.
Or people giving you opinions about your boyfriend.
Or bringing, that's a whole nother one. Or like saying, you know, things about giving their opinion about the podcast that was never asked about them. Like I never asked you.
Unless it's a good opinion. Like,
or like maybe that. But like I've had guys, the reason why we're here in a nutshell is talking about the things that are considered maybe not appropriate for women to be talking about. Yeah. That's a whole reason why we're here doing this podcast. And that's hard for me because even I had one experience probably at a similar bar that we were both probably at. Honestly.
It's probably both of us.
Probably both of us together.
I mean, people confuse us all the time. Maybe it was Sid, maybe it was Soph.
Like who knows who it was? Regardless, we were there and this guy came up and he's like, "Oh yeah, aren't you the podcaster?" And I said yes. And I thought it was just going to be a nice, you know, encounter. And he was like, "Yeah, your podcast is a little out there." And I knew where it was going.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Don't you think it's a little risky to talk about sexual things on a podcast? Like, like that's kind of trashy." And I'm like, "Trashy? You know, you're trashy and I don't care to speak to you anymore." And I go, "No." And that's the whole point of having a conversation, to empower women to talk about the things that will endure the entire lifetime that we have. Asshole. God, I hate that though. The like, she was a total bitch when I met her.
I'm like, I was literally just doing what you were doing.
And then also, sorry. I'm like, with my finger.
We're expected to have a good job. We're expected to be a wife. We're expected to have kids. Like we're all these, like we're a multifaceted people. So like, no shit, I'm not going to show up at 100% all the time if that's what you expect of me.
The mood thing is hard for me, especially when, I don't know, I've been around like friends of boyfriends who have had really bad attitudes because they're hangry or because this, that, and the other thing.
Because like,
they're hangry. And I don't know who else.
I don't know who would do that.
I would never do that. But then I go to dinner one night and you know what? Jordan and I maybe weren't in a great spot. Like we had just had a really not great conversation and I was irritated. Yeah. And I go to dinner and I'm not talking at all. And I feel the need to pretend like I'm having a good time because that's what a good, you know, girlfriend and friend would do, right? Yeah. And I don't think that men have that same standard. I really don't. I don't think that.
They can be pissed off and it's like, "Oh, are you okay?"
Like, okay. Oh, they're kind of manly. Yeah. You know what I think? I think men's beauty standard, because I think ours are like body, brains.
Theirs are also brains for sure.
Money, all the things. I think theirs are muscle and money.
Muscle, money.
Muscle and money. Like if you're thinking really generally, if you're trying to make it like a hashtag.
Boys from like 5 years old, right? Whenever we were young, they're praised for their like technical ability and their smarts, and girls are praised for their appearance. Like I literally remember being in 5th grade and like getting comments about my appearance and like, "Oh, like I was good because like my teacher thought I was cute." You know, it's like, fuck.
I know, right?
And then you're literally gonna be like, you cannot hold on to that shit.
Whether
it's good or bad.
Think about, I got chose. You were in plays too when you were little too. I got chose to be in the play because I was cute and I could talk. That's it, right? And then I realized that you got praise by being in a play and being selected. And then I got selected again, and then I wanted to get selected again, and then I wasn't that great at sports, so I tried harder. And then I got selected. You know what I mean? You get.
And now we get praise when we get a like, and we get praise when we have. I don't know. It's just like praise after praise after praise. Yeah. So you mentioned brains. Talk about that. What do you mean?
Well, for me, when I thought about it, I literally wrote down like being a hustler. Like you should be a hustler, right? You should be a boss bitch, but you should not be a bitch. Kind of that like attitude thing that you were talking about. Like you need to be like a boss, but you want, the minute you cross over into that like a little bit edgy behavior, like no, you're rude and you should not be standing on that pedestal that you're on. You should work your ass off at all things, always proving yourself to someone, but not like being too cute, but like also don't be too grungy, right? Because like that attention you were talking about, like you either get too much or you don't get enough, or you look not put together. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I almost, sorry, that went back to looks because it was a part of work. Yeah. But for me, what I've encountered is I feel like when I get on a call, I have to prove that I'm going to say something smart because I'm younger and I'm female. And when I go to talk about tech or media related things,
and we're female and privileged and in a white thing, like yeah.
Like I've had men
You
be
have
like,
to
oh,
prove.
you work on like social media, right? And I go, actually I came from consumer behavior and digital media studies. So no, I actually came from tech.
Yeah. You have to prove it.
Thank you. But XYZ. And I feel like I have to use big words. Why?
I have a story to kind of like help you explain what you're feeling, because I know exactly what you're talking about. So my sister, or my sister and her friend, I guess, they're both engineering. They're both engineering majors. So I remember my sister saying to me, because her engineering major is predominantly men, right? She was afraid of making mistakes because people can use that as an example that she or women aren't capable. So I'm like, so true. And she got like a big girl job and she was working with a lot of dudes. And she like talked to her boss and she kind of did accuse him of a little bit of discrimination based on her gender, to which he was like, I've never said anything directly to you. Like, and she was like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
You have never said anything. You have never said anything positive about my work. You've never put me in for the praise or promotion, and you've never had my back. When guys are like, oh, they've worked here for a couple years, pay raise.
Well, because that's their friends.
And like guys are just more used to like hopping on a call with their boss, like, hey, I'm looking for a raise. Girls need to also start doing this. Women do it. Like your male counterparts at your jobs are probably doing it too. So yeah, show your worth. Do it.
Men's minimum paycheck expectations are $24,000 higher than women's. $24,000. And then I found this statistic.
We're talking about the pay gap. Oops.
Yep. Oopsie,
sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Men, if you're still listening, you are the OGs and I love you. Okay.
Gen Z women expected to make $6,200 less than men after graduating. Like just right away, right off the bat.
Love that.
It's just hard. And it's because a lot of things, like we don't ask for more money. We think that like it's exciting to just be sitting at the table. That's kind of like the energy that we've been kind of taught.
Yeah.
Whereas men have been like masculine. You got to get up there and you got to be the person you want to be and you got to prove yourself. And we're like, we're just excited to be here. Like, I don't know what I should be offered, because also we haven't normalized money conversations. Whereas I think you'll hear men talk a lot more about money, what they're making, how they're proud of it, which nothing wrong with that. How they're maybe like a little more flashy at times. Women are flashy in other ways, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep.
And we don't know what to talk about. And we had a candid conversation sitting down with a few of our friends, like Callan, for instance, being like, okay, what do you make? I don't know if what I make is normal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never told anyone what I make.
Yeah.
Besides my mom. So I'm kind of sitting with not a lot of, experience.
I know what I make, and it's broke. But when I think of brains, I also think of, like, for me, this is like a little vulnerable side of me, but like hearing stuff like, like Dumb Blonde and whatever on like some fucking review literally sticks with me, and then I've felt like I've grown up with some judgmental people in my life and afraid to speak and afraid to say something wrong. And then I almost start to identify with what I don't want to be. So like Dumb Blonde, like, oh, let's like play into that. Like let's be funny. Let's be goofy. Let's talk about this. Let's like, and I like play into that when I don't want to identify as that, but like, it's almost like I hear it so much, I'm just going to do it. Like, and I want to get out of that, but I also want to keep who I am, my personality. And I don't want to have to perform to make up for the fact that I'm called a dumb blonde here and there. Right. Like, come on. I can't keep going like that. So it's like,
you can't put that pressure on yourself.
And to be honest, like, I just think smarts are just, for everyone, it's just so different. Like intelligence, everyone has their own type of intelligence. Like the person that probably went into the review and was like, ha, dumb blonde, that dumb blonde soph, whatever. All I'm saying is I'm socially intelligent, and I bet you couldn't walk into a room and socialize with every fucking person at the party.
Hell yeah.
I fucking can. So
yeah, you can.
Like, it is literally, there is so many different ways to show your intelligence. People with anxiety, people with ADHD, like you're gonna show up different. So you process things different. Dyslexia, you're gonna process things different, and you're gonna like show your intelligence different.
I just hope that everybody can take a second and think about what intelligence means to them, because it's not just this thing or the other thing. It's many different things.
Recognize your strengths.
Yes. And lean into those. You don't have to be good at everything. That's something I'm working on right now. And two things. It made me think of when I got my ACT score back, and I remember someone saying their number and saying that how stupid they were on this one section. And I got a 19 on science.
Was it English? Oh,
no, science.
English.
I don't know
Could
why.
never read so fast. It was so fast.
I was terrible at science. I don't know why. And I was so embarrassed. And I knew in that moment, like, and everyone's like, oh yeah, you applied to Madison, right? Like I wanted to go to Madison actually. And I didn't get in. And so some of my friends did. And it was because of that section and brought my score down. But immediately in that point, I thought like, wow, I am dumb. Like I must be dumb. Like it sucks. Tell you what were you going to say?
That just reminds me. When I took the ACT, I literally, first of all, I went to special tutoring and we paid, well, mom and dad paid a lot of money. It made me actually do worse because I also think I had ADHD and it wasn't diagnosed. And I was really bad at the math part of the test, but good at the English. I got a horrible score. And I remember being in high school and everyone would talk about it and I would be like, oh, I can't say mine. It's too bad. And then I'd be like, 21. But anyways.
Well, they were like, a monkey could get 13. I'm like, okay.
Okay. But anyways, now looking back, it doesn't fucking matter. And also I got into my freaking grad school. So my ACT did not matter at all.
And you're getting like different scholarships and you're a part of clubs and you're just like, it's about being well-rounded. It's not being the best on paper because the best on paper never wins.
That's what I wish I would have known in college too. Cause I spent so many hours studying. Like, by the way, I am book smart. If you're wondering, I got a 4.0. I've said it like 6,000 times on this podcast. So you better fucking know. I got a 4.0. So if you want to call me dumb blonde, fucking fuck off. But my ACT, that was like my earliest age of being praised for being smart. And I wasn't. I got a bad score. And so my parents, again, they're like, yep, same thing. Paid lots of money for me to get tutored. Every single week I had to drive to the cities. I took a speed reading class, got a better score. Thank God, like, blah, 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 blah. You did so well. Praise. Had to keep getting the grades, Like I was like, okay, well, I gotta be smart if that's who I am. Like I have to be. Like no other option.
It's such a weird measure of like all the things because smart means so many things. And even when I was thinking about this, in my mind today in a meeting, I was like, God, I need to be like reading more. And I also need to like get maybe another certificate or something like that. But I need to do something with my life. But then it's funny. It's like we dive into our careers and we dive into all these like exciting things and it's considered our selfish time. Have you noticed that? Your 20s are considered your selfish time in quotes. People talk about that all the time. And then it's expected that at some point, remember, this is expectations, not reality, that you should have kids and you should never, ever put your career before your family, ever. You cannot be, more excited about your career than your family. And guess what? That's up to the individual. That is not up to society to make that decision. If you are more excited about being successful and owning whatever area you are in, that's wonderful. Then having kids, that's up to you.
Yeah.
That is up to you. Society can't tell you what to do with that.
I'm going to kind of go off this and talk about money in this aspect too, because so let's say you are the breadwinner of your family. Let's say you do have kids and you are the breadwinner. So female breadwinners who have children also face scrutiny from some who think they aren't being present enough as moms, or that they are neglecting their children, number one. And in the workplace, successful women are often seen as too aggressive or unlikable. And you might also be fighting an uphill battle due to obviously the gender pay gap, pay gap. Meanwhile, there's a double standard where male breadwinners appear to be responsible, strong leaders in their families, workplaces, and communities. So if you're a male breadwinner, you literally are responsible and you're a good dad. But if you're a female breadwinner, you're like, oh, you're not spending enough time with your kids.
Yep.
Like what?
And I've actually seen it. And actually, I've checked myself because I've seen that in myself of like, oh, look at so successful of him. And then like, oh, she's probably not, when's she home with the kids? Like, aren't her kids little?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, whoa, wait. Hold on, slow the phone. Like
Pat wants to be
Stop the phone.
Pat wants to be a stay-at-home dad. I'm like, well, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. So figure it out, bitch.
I know.
I'm like, when are we making money?
What are we doing, baby?
Honey, what's the plan? What's the game
all you
plan,
gotta
babe?
do, marry rich, hon. No, seriously. This is a comment I've gotten a few times lately, where Jordan is more successful, if you're measuring in that essence, than I am, and people will literally, I should say, maybe drank too much and then said to me, oh, you must be seeing him due to money. Like, that's why you're together. It makes sense. It makes so much sense. And I literally sit there every time and it makes me feel sick that anybody would look at our relationship and think that I would choose him because I want something from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I chose him because he was thought-provoking and intelligent and really quiet. Like, that's why I chose Jordan. I didn't choose him or have anything to do with money or making sure that I'm set up for my future. Like that, it makes me feel like anything that I'm doing is looked just past. And they're looking at, oh, she's with him because that makes sense because she can have that lifestyle. Bitch, I pay for everything. I pay for all my stuff.
Bitch.
I make a hustle a priority so that I can have the things that I want.
Yeah. Also, you make
it's discriminating. It hurts my feelings.
You make a decent amount of money. It's not like you need anyone.
But I mean, think about that one opinion, that one person that said that comment about you being a dumb blonde. Mm-hmm. There's two people that have said something about me just going for somebody because of money. Yeah. And then, and then you think in your head, you're like, well, I do have friends that from school that, would date people because of money because they were like, what was it called? Sugar babies or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just like,
I signed up for that shit one year.
I made an account for my friend. I almost said her name on here. Whoops. I did not. I wasn't on it. But I'm just saying. Like,
I logged in and then I got scared and logged out.
Yeah. It's scary. That's a scary thing. But it's like, it hurts your feelings so bad that it's not even measurable. It makes you feel like all the things that you do are not important. Yep. And I'm working for what?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, feel that, girl. You guys, that was a lot. And I think we should move on to Straight Candid listener moments of the week.
Could we just say one comment from each of us of like our advice for moving past a lot of this? And we're not going to be able to move past it, but just in general.
I agree. You go first.
Ladies and gents out there, because there are gents listening here, and I hope you learned something from this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on our backs just to get up in the morning and go like move your body and go to work and do all the things. I have really been mindful this year and thought about the amount of time that I think about my body and what I look like and the amount of time I don't. And when I'm thinking about my body and my looks and all of those things first, and especially when money creeps into that too, I am significantly, if not 100% less happy than I am when I'm not thinking about those things. Mm-hmm. I am controlling my own happiness by what I allow myself to think about and what I allow myself to care about. And if you just believe that you are beautiful the way that you are, and you make yourself feel healthy on the inside and outside in whatever way, shape, or form you'd like, and it makes you happy, you need to lean into that. Take the pressure off. Don't let society tell you what to do. Unfollow the people that don't make you feel good to follow. Get rid of the men in your life that make you think that the value in you is your looks, and keep chugging along and just give yourself some grace.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, retweet, honey. But definitely like self-worth comes from within. It's not going to come from anything else. And if it's coming from anything else, you're never going to be free. So to kind of feel that liberation from that pressure that is on the outside, like you have to figure out your self-worth, and it's not going to be from anything that anyone can see.
So not measured externally.
Yeah, that was kind of serious.
It was kind of serious, but kind of necessary.
Yeah, it was a really good conversation. It was so
it was
good.
So, and I just kind of our mood, hashtag mood for the week.
I just love laughing.
I do too.
So I need like a laughy one soon, you guys.
We should have one next. Okay,
yeah, we need a laugh.
We can giggle.
I need to talk about like, I really want to like figure out how. Actually, no, I don't know if that's good.
Do you realize that every time you open your phone, I look at it? So don't ever be talking shit about me, because I see everything that goes on to that thing.
I just sent you a picture.
No, I know, but I can't help it. Whenever somebody opens their phone, I'm looking. I don't know why.
I have Straight Candid moments on my phone. So, okay. Listeners, Straight Candid moment. So this one girl, I'm dead.
Wait, I haven't read this one, so I'm not ready.
So this one girl, she's walking around campus and she sees a girl carrying a hamster. So I asked if I could, it's from her perspective, I'm going to start over. So I saw this girl walking around campus and I saw that she was carrying a hamster. So I asked if I could pet it, but it was actually a muffin. So I'm on my way to jump off a cliff.
Can you imagine?
Can I
what
pet
you'd feel
a
like?
legit muffin?
Also, like, it didn't go through your mind that, like, why would somebody be walking on campus with a hamster? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like a muffin and a hamster don't look alike, so maybe go check your eyes out.
Oh my God.
That is hilarious.
I thought it was so good. Okay. One time, Straight Candid moment, love the podcast. I don't know what you said there. Okay. One time as a waitress, a guy asked me for extra mashed potatoes. I replied, they are mashed as much as they can mash them.
No, sir. No. I don't want them to be mushed more. I want more of them. Oh my God, that was a dad joke. That was a dad joke.
They're kind of short. They were short and sweet this week, but that's why I had to share too. So.
Oh no, I like them. Wait, I think I had a good one from last week. Do I save it? Remember how I was like, oh my God, I have a good one right here. If I can,
save it.
Should I?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I just get so excited. They're right here.
Save it if they're good. We only got like 6 clips. We had a lot of good shit to say.
I know you're right. You're right. I'm gonna wait.
We had so much good shit to say.
We were so smart. You guys, if you ever have an idea for us of like an episode that you're like, God dang it, you need to be doing this, DM us. Yeah. Just send us a DM.
People keep apologizing. They're like, I know you probably have really good ideas, but like, here's my idea. I'm like, send them.
No, send them because we're the people talking. We're not the listeners. So we need people to tell us like, hey, I don't really want to hear about, your poop again. I would like to hear about maybe helping women, right? Like, just give us an idea. Even if it's fun, if it's hilarious, if it's just something
ideas.
A topic. Just give us anything. We appreciate it. It doesn't hurt our feelings. It actually just excites us that you want to hear more.
And for now, DM us, but I think we'll probably add a link to the bio. And if you're listening, and this is probably a month past the episode drop date, is probably linked in our bio by now. Yeah, that's true. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining. We'll see you next week.
We love you, and we hope you love our new orange chairs because we've got new orange chairs.
Yeah, they're
in our studio.
They're so fucking cute. You guys, go give us a follow at Straight Candid Podcast. Please check out our YouTube, subscribe if you haven't yet, and go to Spotify because we need Spotify reviews. Okay, so
we were telling people go to Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Yeah, no, we would like those on Spotify too.
Both, both. And then you can give me a follow at Candid Soph.
At Candid Sid, and I just realized how bad my breath was.
And we have our cutie little intern. We got Tay KK all day. What's your Insta?
Tay K.
That's my sister. Super
fan. All right, you guys. Love y'all. Chat soon.
Bye.
Bye. Did we hit record? How funny would that have been?
Oh my God, you scared me.
Oh my God.
You made me almost poop my pants. I'm sweating.
I would have literally cried.
No, I would have had no.
Oh, we did it.
I love.
Okay, it is 6:06, so we
gotta
wrap
roll
this shit up fast.